one last time. Hello, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay musical episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're so happy to be here with you today one more time.
We broke GB.
You would not want a musical episode. No musical episode. Okay.
Welcome everybody who is watching with us live on Twitch. If you are watching this on YouTube from the future, then this is our last episode and we're so sorry that we missed you. But
you can catch up though.
You've made it to the end of the story, so yeah, catch up, watch the whole story, all 10 episodes of this awesome time-traveling epic, Apocalypse When. Before we get started, I would love to tell you about 3 wonderful sponsors that we have here on Encounter Roleplay. The first is Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. All of the rolling that you see happening today happens on Fantasy Grounds. It's a really cool virtual tabletop. It does all kinds of cool stuff, and you can give it a try for free at fantasygrounds.com. So check it out. We love it. You'll love it. It does pretty much everything you can think of. So check it out for free, fantasygrounds.com. Second, here on the list, we have Wayland Games. Do you need miniatures? Do you want miniatures? Do you just kind of vaguely think you might need miniatures? You should check out Wayland Games. They have all kinds of minis for all kinds of games, D&D and Warhammer and anything you can think of. Check them out at waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of minis for 20% off. That's a lot. And they're really good. So check them out, waylandgames.co.uk. And then finally, you can also check out our wonderful sponsor, Tabletop Loot, who sells incredible dice. We all love dice. You know you need them. You know you want them. So check out Tabletop Loot. They have all kinds of wonderful, beautiful, excellent dice for all of your games. More than you could ever need, but not more than you can want. So check them out. And in addition to that, if we hit 20 retweets on the live tweet for this show today, we will give away a free set of Tabletop Loot dice to someone out there in the chat. So retweet the tweet, check it out, tell your friends, tell everyone. Once we hit 20 retweets, somebody in chat could win a set of Tabletop Loot dice, and you are going to want these so you can have enough dice to shower in, just like Rob.
Or throw repeatedly over your shoulder.
I was so scared you were gonna make the loud sound again.
I muted myself this time. We learn here.
You don't have a dog or anything that's gonna eat those while you're gaming, right? No?
Not anymore.
All right. And then finally, everyone out there in the chat,
it made me so sad.
anyone who is left in the chat, you can interact with today's game by donating directly to Encounter Roleplay, directly to the channel here. You can give all these wonderful players some critical successes, critical failures, all loot surges, all kinds of stuff. So do that, and you can influence the game directly. And then finally, if you see a moment during the show that you love, you enjoyed, you thought was wonderful or funny or strange, and you want to share it with the universe out there, clip it and send it to us and tell us you clipped it, because we love watching them, and we love tweeting them and using them in our highlight reels and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So if you loved something, tell us so we can share it with everyone. Spread the love and the clips. And I think that is it. So I'll start, and I'm going to go around and let these wonderful people who have put up with me for the last 10 weeks introduce themselves and tell you who they're playing and where you can find them on the internets. And then we'll get this game on the road. So I'm Savvy, at Savvy Seaworth on the Twitter and all of the other things on the internet. I'm also the master of ceremonies for this Apocalypse World game, meaning I am running the show. That's really it. You can find me a lot of places on the internet, mostly when I'm not here. I do all my streaming at twitch.tv/game nights. That's game with 2 G's and nights with a K. And Rob, tell the people who you are.
Well, okay then. Hello, I'm Rob, or bonus stage Rob, or bonus_stage_Rob if you're going to my Twitch channel, which you should. It's a lot of fun. I was playing Witcher 2 before this stream. Game crashed. Feels bad, but now I'm here playing this game. It's super dope. You can find me there or on Twitter at bonusstagerob, and I am playing Verulo, the Angel. He's a sweet boy. He's just trying his best to heal his friends. It's gonna go great. LB!
I'm LB Hackamup. You can find me on the Twitters at LB Hackamup. You can find me also here trying to figure out what want I want and get shocked by my friend who's yelling at me. I play Sunday through Wednesday. I will be at the Gen Con this weekend, so please, if you see me, come up and say hello, because I'm really bad with faces, especially when I know somebody online and then they come up to me and they're like, look at me, and I'm like, oh, it's you. So it'll take me a while, so just so you know. So yeah. GB, go!
Hooah! Graybeard at Graybeard's Tavern. Look me up at Graybeard Tavern, because Twitter is stupid. And my schedule's in there, but normally I'll play on my channel, Some Darkest Dungeon, every Sunday morning. Other than that, you can catch me sometimes on Indoor Adventures, Pro Restarter, here on Encounter Roleplay, and very soon, as before, on Game Nights, one would hope. And that's short and sweet. And now that it's the 10th and final episode, I finally got out my Pip-Boy.
Preach.
We vault friends.
Excellent.
Vault friends. I've got the lunchbox too. Carla.
Hello! I'm Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at Greek Sid. I'm here for a little while longer. And then on Tuesdays, I'm over at FemNPC, recently rebranded, but still doing some fun stuff over there, as well as on Wednesdays over on Wandering DM. And hit me up for just funsies in general, and hopefully soon on Game Nights. We shall see. And I'm playing Carla. She's really, really just... She's Carla. That's all you need to know. Oh, it's going to be fun today.
All right. Those are the people. And this is the game. Let us highlight stats.
Yeah!
Verulo, who has the highest history on your sheet?
Hey Maggie, how you doing?
Hey, boo, how you be? I don't sharp.
Yeah! All right.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
All right.
I use my thinking brain and do the words good and the medicine.
You
I'm gonna say
sure,
cool.
He sure does.
Oh, if there's one thing in this book that I am, it is cool.
Maggie.
I have Verulo and Traeger.
Hi.
Boys.
Boys.
I'm gonna say weird.
And,
Because you got her back.
and we're in battle, huh? Normally I would say hot, because that's always fun. But let's go with... There's nothing that you can roll that you can roll the...
Hard and sharp are the only two that...
Okay, then cool.
Okay.
No, wait, why? Is that bad?
Hard and sharp are the only ones that I don't roll weird for.
Weird. Then sharp. Be smart for us, Maggie. Be smart for us.
Thanks. I'm always a smart one. I mean...
Oh, God. Water deep.
Sometimes too smart.
Yeah. Okay,
Alright.
me, right? I'm up.
Traeger.
Yeah.
It's a tie between Verulo and Carla.
Ooh.
I would like it noted I have never rolled over on anyone at all. So
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Never
Get
the
hard, my
bride.
dude.
I know. That's all I am.
And
is
I'll-
hard.
And I'll say cool, because you might need to keep your cool today. We'll see.
Nice.
Right.
All right.
Hard and
I'm counting on him not to do that one. I need that, boy.
It's
All
rage
right,
free.
so, hard and cool for Traeger and Carla. Yeah.
So I've officially rolled everyone back over. So it is a 3-way +1 tie for the entire group.
All right.
Interesting. Let's
Yep.
have everybody roll. Everybody roll a d6. Two highest get it.
All right.
Or lowest loses, I guess,
Whee.
depending on how you want to look at it.
Oh, did it not do the thing?
It does it sometimes. I'll roll and then it won't register.
Oh, dope. I rolled a 4 and then it took the 1. Awesome. Thanks.
Rude. All right. Then Traeger and Maggie. How about
Weird.
Got the
Weird.
weird check. I can't double
Um,
weird. I have to pick something else too. Although I did recently,
Hard.
with my last level up, I actually just took, if this helps, I took spooky intense as well. So my cool and my hard, I can roll weird for.
Oh, perfect. Sharp.
Bam. Thank you.
Okay. And Maggie, you rolled. Anyone else that has pre-session moves they need to roll? Let's roll those now.
Yeah.
I think
I
Trigger has one.
do. Yeah.
I just kind of found a stock lying around. I was like, oh, this is really scary. Ooh.
Well, you're in a medical facility, so
Yeah.
now's the time.
Scavenge.
Oh, that's a 6.
You spend my bone feel, and and I'm trapped, pinned, or caught somewhere.
Oh, so I can do a bad thing to you.
Yes.
Whoa.
I
Hey.
Oh no!
I have the tools and the knowledge, but I'm trapped, pinned, or caught someplace.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
You know, in the finale, this is really great. Oh
Yeah,
no!
boss
Oh
battle.
no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, no,
Feels
no.
good.
Tough. Okay.
Yeah. Is it?
It is. It's much easier for me to just sit here and go, yeah, you do it. It works.
Or if you fail, ooh, that's your fault.
Yeah. You're like, oh, you're bad. All right. Let's see. That is everything I can think of. Any last words?
Why did I mean it like that?
I mean, any more pregame stuff? All right. So, where
Trust.
last we left off, this team of intrepid time travelers and now dimension travelers had made their way through several different decades. You all at first spent a little time in ancient Greece during the Peloponnesian War, saving a Spartan general and, fixing ancient history. Pretty good start. You all made your way through the 1700s, a golden age of piracy, making friends with some pirates and destroying all of their motorboats that they definitely weren't supposed to have. Very well done. You found yourself for a little bit in the 1980s at a Bon Jovi concert in London, saving Mr. Bon Jovi from certain doom. You saved yourselves in the 60s in Vegas, making sure the timeline stayed the same. You were captured by Era, seen as a threat to the timelines after all of the work you had done for them, after learning that alternate versions of yourselves from a different timeline were causing chaos and mayhem and just generally trying to fuck everything up. You were captured. You escaped, but you hadn't really escaped. Then you really escaped. This is a very good recap. But you escaped from this, meeting up with an ally, a new ally for a lot of you, Dr. Farah Masterson, who sent you not only to a different time, but a different timeline, as it were. You hopped briefly through the robot apocalypse and made it to the timeline where the original device was detonated that split the timelines in the first place. And now you find yourselves pinned down in a lab. An evil version of Dr. Farah Masterson on one side of you, and evil versions of you coming up the stairs outside behind you. We're going to pick up right where we left off with Dr. Masterson, this version of her with the green eyes, coming down the stairs and wishing you good luck against yourselves. You have a few moments, it would seem, to prepare for the coming onslaught. What do you want to do?
Oh boy.
And is she behind a barrier, the doctor, or anything?
She is not. So where you are right now is the same sort of lab layout that you're familiar with. There is essentially 2 levels to this. The first level where you all are has the slabs with the human test subjects on one side, the large test tubes with the human test subjects suspended in them in some kind of thick liquid on the other side. At the back of the lab, there is a set of stairs, like one set on each side, that meet in the middle up on a second level with an observation room with glass looking out onto where you are. But she has come down these stairs. You all are aware that you find yourselves in her lab in the moments just before the timelines split. And she has sort of come down the stairs and is standing in front of you.
Wait, we're here before the split. Maybe we're about to cause a loop. No, strings, not loops. Fire! And I'll turn and fire at the doctor.
Okay, oh no, I think we lost LB. Oh gosh. Internet. So, Traeger works through this very quickly and then opens fire on this version of Dr. Masterson. Go ahead and roll to go aggro on someone.
Yes!
Pew, pew, pew!
Pew, 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 pew.
Like we said, it's about all I do well, so let's make that happen.
And you do it very well.
Mm-hmm.
It actually says it in the playbook. Don't expect to do anything but fight well.
Oh,
that's
golly.
That's good.
All right, so that is a 14 total. So you all hear Traeger very quietly and very quickly sort of muttering something to himself, coming to the conclusion of strings and opens fire on the doctor. Bullets start flying as you just pepper the area in front of everyone with bullets. They are sort of dinging off the metal walls and the wall behind her. A bit of the glass at the top shatters as you just lay down this blanket of fire in front of her. And she reacts as though she thinks the bullets are going to hit her, but they sort of fly through her body, hitting the wall behind her. And she, for a moment, looks at you as if she's going to laugh, but then as a few of the bullets sort of angle up and strike through the glass that has shattered, you hear this loud sort of zapping sound, and so sparks start to fly up top, and she sort of notices, looks back, looks at you, and says, shit. And the hologram of her that was in front of you shorts out a little bit and disappears.
All right.
God, I hate those.
Maggie, we need to do that thing that we did with the other doctor and go up and then do the mind thing and bring this thing down. Let's go. Can you
yes.
cover us?
All right.
If it works there, let's hope it works here. Let's go.
I'm gonna ask my companions if they are so inclined to do a sweep of the building and see if they can find her.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have you roll plus weird for them. Let's see how they do.
Uno momento.
And
Por favor.
Traeger says, either way, up the stairs. And click, turns the bomb on and sticks it under a table in this room, in the lab room.
Okay. Okay, so you turn on this bomb that you have made, sort of stick it up under one of the tables. That does have a human laying on it, and the four of you make your way very quickly up the stairs. Maggie, you have rolled an 8 for your subjects, so several of them, I think, appear, sort of listen to your command, nod, and dematerialize again and start making their way through the building as the four of you race up the stairs to the observation deck up top. As you go up, you see a familiar sight. You have been here before in another timeline. Much like your Dr. Masterson, there are papers spread everywhere around this lab. There are computers. There is also a device sort of sticking to the back wall that looks like it probably did something before Traeger filled it full of lead. So that is probably where your sparks came from, and also why perhaps this Dr. Masterson is no longer able to project herself into the room with you, at least for the moment. So you all find yourselves up here. However, this is a bit different from the version of the lab you were in the robot apocalypse. There is no spire at the top of this lab. You sort of get the impression that because the focus of the research here wasn't really on robots or AI, they have no need for a control tower for those.
I think we're gonna have a different problem here. You saw her eyes, right?
Yes. Yes, indeed. So, I think you, now that we're up here, you have some time to, I don't know, talk to Green-Eyed Man again and explain the situation. Summon him, maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
You guys are really tight, right?
You could pray to him, right? Like that's that. You could just say, "Hey, this isn't great.
Yeah.
Maybe take away her power."
Yep. I could definitely try. Maggie just goes, "Sure. Let me sit down."
Yeah,
She
and
sits down.
he makes sure you sit like behind something, because when the bomb goes off, the glass is gonna come flying. So as you go to sit down, he like maybe scooches your chair behind a cubicle wall or something.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there on the button waiting for us to get into the lab.
Traeger,
I
they're
would
not
like-
alive, are they?
Ooh, but
The people on the table.
Those aren't people.
Maggie
all
knows for
Traeger
a fact that at least one of them is alive.
But she didn't say anything.
What do you
I
mean
think
those
they're
aren't
monsters.
people?
They're monsters.
I would like to open my mind to the maelstrom.
Okay.
I did advance that move,
Okay.
which just means if I roll over an amount, or do I add something more to it?
It should give you, that's advancing a basic move, so it should give you another option for if you roll a 12 plus.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. Which I sure didn't.
Oh no.
That's a double mark for me.
Nah.
I don't think you've ever failed that roll.
Nope.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Unless someone is
my.
wanting to...
I can
Help.
assist. Yes, I can assist.
How can you assist?
I will put my gloved hand on Maggie's shoulder, and I will say, "This is very important. So let's be very focused. Yes." And yeah, I'll get on into her mind and help her focus. Ooh, I can implant a command. I can implant a command in your brain and say, make this happen. So I'm gonna try that. Can I roll weird?
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to roll for in-brain puppet strings. Yup, this is what we're doing.
Get it. Do it. Roll it.
Okay.
Pop it.
All right, pop it out.
Twist it.
Twist it.
Pull it.
That's a 12.
That is a
Shake
12. Okay,
it.
She
so
bopped
you I'm gonna roll with this as your help roll. I'm not gonna make you roll twice. What command do you implant?
Make him take it away from her.
Okay.
Super intense. Okay. So yeah, Maggie, probably a very strange sensation as Carla tells you this is very important and we should really focus. She lays a gloved hand on your shoulder, just touching a little bit of exposed skin, and all of a sudden you feel this sort of flood of psychic energy pulse through you and through your head, and you have one goal. Make him take it away from her. So I'll give you, Carla, you rolled a 12. I'll give you the +2 for help. So that would turn your 6 into an 8, which is a partial success. And let me see. General impression. Okay.
Wording.
So you, with this surge of energy from Carla and this singular focus in your mind, you open your mind and you reach out. And as you reach out sort of all around the building, you can feel almost like dots on your radar, your followers that you have sent out. And you can feel, as you're reaching out and expanding your kind of your psychic field out into the maelstrom, you can just feel this surge of energy coming off of them, and this like almost like aggression and anger as they kind of circle around the building. But you reach farther and push past them, and you connect with something very familiar and very powerful. You don't hear a voice this time, but you sort of, instead you're kind of getting these a little bit vague with these kind of like surges of emotion that aren't yours. So you all of a sudden feel this kind of like questioning energy, as if something is asking you, why are you here?
And I'm just gonna respond with imagery, traveling through time, seeing other versions of myself, seeing other versions of reality, making it clear that I'm not from here. And then I'm going to, since I'm not from here, show him the things that I have done for him personally, and try to show my undying gratitude and devotion to him, and kind of show our situation, what's going on, what we're trying to do, and the stakes. So if we don't succeed here, the worlds will be fractured, meaning his rule will be fractured. Whereas if we can focus these worlds together, and what she intends to do after she's done with this, with the power that she has and with the capabilities she has.
Okay. Spinning to the Lord of Destruction, that destruction is a bad thing.
I mean, destruction is good, but if it hurts what you're going for, that's not good, because you can't do, if you're restricted to just this timeline, restriction is bad.
Okay. All right. So you make your case. And I think Carla, as you stand there sort of with your hand on Maggie's shoulder, you are getting not all of this, but kind of bits and pieces, because this is sort of the following of your command and your energy that's helping amplify Maggie to get her this far. So you're getting kind of flashes of these images. I don't know that they are super coherent to you, but I think you have a general idea of the argument that is being made. And for both of you, for just a moment, the world goes silent. And you wait. And you wait. And then both of you hear this sort of deep laughter. And then Maggie, very quietly in your ear, you just hear, interesting. I'm not going to give you the win, but I'll level the playing field. And Maggie, and then I think Carla too, you feel this sort of heat coming off of Maggie. Maggie, your skin sort of grows hot, and your face flushes, and then very quickly this presence kind of pulls away from you, and as that connection severs, you feel this like surge of energy in your chest. Until this conflict resolves itself, you can add an extra +1 to your weird rolls.
Yay! Heck yeah!
And
Lena.
then Carl, and then it's a wonderful face.
Oh
Oh
It's the
no!
perfect way to phrase. If she was gonna phrase, she should phrase there because that's perfect.
Golly.
And then Carla, as this happens, you sort of feel this pulse of heat, and then it's gone.
So that was good. Yes.
Oh no.
She's processing. Just let her process.
To go.
Processing.
It's all good.
There you are.
Yes. As Maggie opens her eyes, they are continuously glowing green, and she looks ready to go.
This is good. This is very good. Okay. All right.
Did it work?
As good as it's
I'm
going
still
to, I
the
think.
favorite.
Well, at least we have that going for us. Wait, there's another one of you. Oh god, did we power her up?
No, I don't think it works like that, because we're separate. He said he was leveling the playing field, so probably I am just as powerful, if not slightly more than her.
Okay.
And I'm waiting for the us to come through the lab, and I'm gonna blow the lab, trying to take cover.
Yes, you are. And so as I think Rulo Maggie tells you that she is still the favorite.
Considering this.
And as soon as the words leave her lips, Traeger, you see this, and the rest of you hear it, as there is this huge explosion sound of like metal on metal coming from the door. And as the metal of the sliding doors that you came through flies completely off of the door frame, and they come through. Traeger, you see this happen. You click the button on your detonator. I'm gonna have you roll to go aggro on someone to see how well you set this up.
Come on, Traeger.
But it's a bomb, so it's definitely going aggro.
Damn!
Oh, mother God.
That's a 14. All right. So with the supers, that's almost the max that you could roll, I think. Yeah, that's a 6 and a 5. All right. So the rest of you, as you're finishing this conversation, hear in succession 2 very loud blasts. The first from the outside, sending the door flying out of the door frame across the room. And as soon as the footsteps come into the room, Traeger clicks the detonator and you hear a second explosion. There is this crashing sound of metal. You hear some loud yelling coming from the doorway, and then as quickly as the cacophony starts, it stops. And the room below you is sort of filled with dust and debris. And as the dust starts to settle, there is a little bit of a breeze, a sort of windy sound that you can hear as light from outside the building starts to stream through this giant hole that this bomb has created in one side of the lab. 3 of the 4 slabs are gone. They are just in pieces over there, and there is quite a lot of blood and debris strewn around the room from probably some of the people that were on those tables. Traeger, you can also see, as the dust starts to settle, a single figure standing in the blast zone. There are a couple of others sort of strewn across the floor, still in one piece, but flat on their backs. 4 people in the room with you in total. And this figure takes another couple of steps into the room. The dust starts to settle, and the 4 of you, I assume, looking over at this point to where the explosions have come from, through broken glass and dust and sand and this wind that is now sort of sending papers flying and coming in through the room. You see Traeger standing down there. A different Traeger, bigger than you remember and more full of metal than you remember. This Traeger is wearing a set of goggles that sort of obscure his eyes a little bit, and as you sort of take him in, you can tell he has these metal pieces of body armor that have been totally integrated with his flesh. They're part of his body, and his left arm is no longer an arm. It is a very large weapon of some sort, almost like a cannon, that has been sort of integrated onto his body. And he sort of looks around, surveying the room. And Traeger, he looks up and, from what you can tell, locks eyes with you and takes aim with this huge weapon of an arm. And Traeger, you fire back.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna exchange harm with him. So you'll roll to go aggro.
Okay.
And he is gonna inflict some harm on you as well. And the rest of you can see yourselves, different versions of yourselves, which we'll get to in a second, starting to pick themselves up off of the floor, torn and bloodied and definitely damaged, and one of them sort of holding their side as they stand up. All right, Traeger, you have rolled. Where'd it go? The suspense. A 10. All right. So you roll a 10, so you are going to exchange some harms. So bullets start to fly as the clanging of metal on metal starts up in the room again. You exchange harm as he lets out this huge blast, and the 3 of you see it connect with Traeger straight in the chest, sort of knocking you back a little bit. You're going to take 3 harm, minus whatever your armor is, and he is going to take some from your fire as well as you sort of lay down fire across the room straight at him.
Fortunately for me, I've been carrying these armor-piercing bullets the whole time. I didn't have grenades, I didn't have explosions, but I had armor-piercing bullets. Figuring
you go through armor?
Figuring at some point we'd run into a vehicle or something that I would need to punch holes in. So that's why.
Soldier!
All right, so yeah.
4 harm.
4 arm, ignore armor. Is that the words you're saying to me?
Yes, 4 harm, ignore armor.
All of your training has led up to this moment as you all hear this loud blast and see your Traeger sort of stumble back a little bit. I think your armor taking the brunt of that as he fires down with this precision straight into the chest of the very heavily armored Traeger. Your bullets don't give a shit. As you can see, you can hear them sort of piercing through the metal. And he almost, like, he looks a little surprised and then almost a little impressed. Like, you can see him almost smile a little bit as his face starts to turn red as all of the blood sort of rushes up here and the veins in his neck and forehead start to pop out as blood starts to sort of run down this armored metal chest plate that is also his chest, his actual chest. It's sort of grotesque looking. And as this happens, the figure that has been sort of clutching their side as they stand up, stands up, and they've been wearing a gold mask, sort of takes it off. And the rest of you see Verulo. As he stands up, he looks different as well. You can see sort of across one side of his face these large stitch marks that are going down the face, down his neck, sort of into these dark clothes that he is wearing. And it almost looks like the skin of his face is two different colors and has been sort of stitched together from different pieces. He walks up to Traeger, sort of slaps a hand to his chest, takes it down, and you can see where some of the bullet holes have started to weld themselves back together. What are the rest of you doing up there?
Kill me! Kill me!
Oh, shit! Okay!
Maggie's gonna summon her peeps. She's gonna send them in a wave. Is other Maggie anywhere near Verulo? The other Verulo?
She is close by. She is sort of behind. If you all are looking down, you have sort of, from your perspective, Traeger in the center, Verulo right to one side of him, and then you can see two other figures kind of back in each corner to his kind of left and right, but they are they're all very close together. They just kind of came in this door. They were just sort of blown out by the explosion, but the room is not huge. So
cool. I'm gonna ask my peeps to bring him to me. She's gonna just put out her hand.
Okay, and you want them to get Verulo? The suspense is killing me.
But yes,
no.
I think so. That was the plan last week.
That's the plan? Okay, we'll go with that unless I am told otherwise. So yeah, Maggie puts out her hand. There you are. I'm gonna have you roll weird for this. You want them to go for Verulo, Maggie?
Yeah, I want them to bring him to me.
Great. Fire. All right. So Maggie, with these glowing green eyes, you sort of reach out. The rest of you see her reach out toward this other Verulo and focus her energy, and around him you see sort of materializing these followers of hers that you are all familiar with, and they swarm Verulo just as he removes his hand from this other Traeger's chest, and you can see them kind of swirling faster and faster around him as they lift him up off the ground and start to, against his will, drag him toward Maggie. So they make it about to the bottom of the stairs. As Verulo and Carla, what are you doing other than screaming? Or just screaming, that's fine too.
I'm waiting to get a hold of this other Verulo so I can fucking tear his brain apart and figure this shit out so we know what to destroy here.
Does Carla still have an extra gun? Did you have two guns at one point?
I did. I had a shotgun and I had a regular handgun. And in fact, I think I gave the regular handgun to you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I was going to
the regular
ask for
handgun.
it. Okay.
You did during the
Verulo
motorcycle.
is shakily just like, oh god,
Don't
just
kill the
ready
you, we need
to.
you.
Okay. Okay. He points it away and looks at Traeger, just like evil Traeger.
Not the big guy. Not the big guy. Your bullets will do nothing.
What's the point of this?
Shoot a Maggie. Shoot a Carla.
Yes, please kill the other me. She's dangerous.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, is she in sight? Like, can I take aim at her?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
I'll look at you and
boom.
I give you full permission to kill the other me. It's okay.
He unloads.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Roll plus hard.
Oh, brother. Okay. Please, for the love of God. That's a 10.
That is a full success. So you do, and the two of you are gonna exchange a little bit of harm as you open up fire at this other version of Carla as she's sort of picking herself up off the ground. And as you aim towards her right before you fire, you can see Carla, as you focus in on her, this other version of Carla is lifting herself up off the ground, but is almost levitating as she does and sort of righting herself. And as you empty this clip of bullets,
Verula sees that and screams, and that's why he unloads.
So, screaming. Does anybody know how much harm a handgun does? 2? Perfect.
One Magnum handgun should do 2 close, loud.
2 close, loud. All right. So yeah, you're definitely close enough, and it is loud, Verulo. So ears ringing from bullets and probably your own screams of fear. You empty this clip into Carla, who rights herself, does stumble kind of back as you wing her with a couple of shots, and focuses up on you, and you can see her through. She is wearing this mask sort of over her eyes, which is the gold color that you're used to Apotheosis wearing, but it's almost like a it fits like sort of like a masquerade mask. And you can see as she focuses in on you, reflecting off of the gold, this little glow of green coming from her eyes, and she sort of stares you down and just cocks her head a little bit as she looks at you, and then you feel this just piercing pain in the center of your forehead. You're going to take 2 harm, ignore armor, from this as you finish firing at her, and you are almost knocked off your feet, almost kind of brought to your knees by this pain in your head. And as all of this is sort of happening, the bullets are flying, the rest of these leaders of Apotheosis have sort of righted themselves and are making their way up the stairs toward you. Maggie's followers at this point have sort of kept their hold on this other version of Verulo and are dragging him up the stairs and around the corner, and as he gets close, you all can sort of see as he is sort of struggling and trying to get out. He has no fear on his face, just pure determination, and as he sort of he lashes out and tries to do anything he can with his arms and his legs to get these things to let go of him. He is not successful so far, but you all can see kind of across his skin again these stitch marks that are going down around one of his wrists, and you can see as he sort of reaches out, his hands are mismatched. And it looks as though one of them has been replaced. But he has, for all intents and purposes, 2 mismatched but fully functioning human hands. LB! You made
Hopefully that works.
so your followers...
I can grab him.
You certainly can. So as they finish dragging this sort of strange, stitched together Verulo up the stairs, Carla, you reach out with a gloved hand, grabbing through these apparitions onto one of his arms. What would you like to do?
Yeesh. I am deep brain scan.
Okay. Hit me with that weird.
Alrighty. Okay. Alright. Come on, come on. Oh, okay, it's a 7.
Okay. What do you get on a 7 to 9?
I get 1.
1. All right.
Oh god, I gotta make this count. Okay. What is a good question? I need to know.
They're planning
Okay.
something that's gonna make everything explode. So what are they planning? What are
Yes.
they planning, man?
Yeah. How do I phrase this? I guess, yeah, what does your character intend to do? What are they planning?
All right.
What's the plan?
All right. So as you reach through these apparitions and grab onto this strange version of Verulo's arm, you reach out with your glove and your mind, and you ask, what is his plans? You get these sort of these flashes. They are mostly involve Verulo and Dr. Farrah Masterson sort of conversing, talking to each other. You get these bits and pieces as you sort of parse through his memories very, very quickly. And you can see him sort of performing procedures and working in this lab on these people that are here and sort of with Dr. Masterson. And you get this brief flash of some of this sort of research that the two of them are compiling. Essentially, these experiments that they were performing, from your understanding, were trying to figure out the long-term effects of time travel on the human body. And as you sort of parse through these memories and get closer and closer to the present day, you get sort of parts of this conversation that they are having about weaponizing this technology and building what Dr. Masterson calls a chronobomb.
Oh shit! Do I get any?
Fairy lab.
Oh, here in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I will come out of that. It's a time bomb. It's here. We gotta blow up the lab, the whole thing, to tear it to the ground. Sound like fun? Let's do it.
A what?
A time bomb. It's a bomb for time. That's how they split us all, with a time bomb. But not a bomb that's on a timer, an actual bomb for time.
If we blow up
Okay.
the lab, wouldn't that blow up the bomb as well and set it off?
Shit, hadn't thought of that. Well, it's here. It's here somewhere.
As Carla says, oh no, hadn't thought of that. All of a sudden, Carla, from behind you, you hear a snicker. And the rest of you see this too, because other Maggie is no longer where you left her. She has appeared somehow right behind Carla, and she doesn't say anything, but she just sort of snickers. And Carla, she grabs onto the back of your neck, and you feel this heat coming off of her hands. It sort of makes its way up the back of your neck and feels like something has sort of latched on inside your skull. You're gonna also take, let's see, 3 harm. Ignore armor if you had any.
Carla had armor. Nope.
As you
Okay.
feel this sort of searing starting in the back of your skull, just moving towards the front of it, and you all can see that this other Maggie has appeared somehow behind Carla and is grabbing onto her. What are the rest of you doing?
Verulo is gonna run up with his knife and stab Maggie.
Okay, yeah, roll plus hard.
Shit. Bam. Oh no!
Asha, 3.
MC, that's a 3.
Yeah. You cannot be helped out of that one. You all see Carla, and you see Verulo coming charging toward you with this knife, sort of throwing himself into the heat of battle. But as this happens, you all sort of see almost sort of flying a little bit, levitating off of her, not even moving her feet, this other version of Carla. You see yourself wearing this mask coming up the stairs, and she isn't saying anything, but is still sort of has her eyes locked on Verulo. And Verulo, just as you go to drive the knife into Maggie, you feel just barely, almost this little, it feels like a pinprick on the back of your neck, and you see red. And the only thing that you can focus on is Carla as you drive the knife into her side instead of Maggie's. How much harm does your knife do?
Two.
Carla, you take 2 harm.
Okay.
And just as quickly as Verulo, this impulse came, it goes away, and you are sort of left reeling a little bit, realizing what you have done.
What? No! No! And he'll drop the knife and immediately go for his bag.
Okay.
May
so
I?
he's-
Oh, sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I was
he's
gonna
going
see if
to
I could-
attempt to heal you.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
I'll let you do
We'll
that
get to
first.
that in. We'll get to that in a
Yeah,
second. Traeger.
yeah. That's his
You
So-
wanna do something?
move.
Yeah, sit rep here. So Maggie, goatee Maggie, evil Maggie, other Maggie has our Verulo by the neck.
Carla.
Me.
Has our Carla.
Has
by the
Carla.
neck.
Okay.
Yeah, she has
and then
Carla.
the other Carla, like, ghost levitated herself up or whatever into the room, and then Verulo tried to stab her, but stabbed our Carla.
Yep.
Okay.
I tried to stab Maggie, who is holding
Maggie.
Carla.
Maggie. who's
Carla,
holding
evil
Okay.
Carla made me stab a real
Did
good
the
Carla.
puppet thing. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Was it
So-
really her? Was it really her?
All right. I don't want
You
to hear
kind
it.
of want to do anyway. It's okay.
I did not. I wanted to stab you with healing.
Yeah. This is my healing
stab
knife.
you with my healing light. Okay.
All right. So as
so-
Verulo, you reach around to your pack. Yeah, Traeger. What did you want to do?
I'm coming forward, and I'm just gonna I'll let the Carla have it, though targeting I really want to kill Maggie again, because soon the ghosts are coming, and then I'm screwed. So that's why. But if she's gonna play mind tricks with us, I suppose I'm gonna take Carla down, because both her and Maggie are previously kind of shredded from the bomb, right?
Yeah. The bomb definitely it did them an ouch for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
they are this Carla, especially Carla with this evil Carla that you can see is sort of levitating off the floor. Is not saying anything. Doesn't seem to be reacting to what's going on to her body, but she is sort of torn and shredded and bleeding. You can kind of see this, just like she's covered in blood, and she can only bleed so much more, I think, and this Maggie as well. You've done them some serious harm at this point.
All right, then I move across the room and just let the Carla have it on the way.
Okay, you roll plus hard as you open fire against Carla. Verulo, I'm gonna have you roll whatever it is that you roll for healing. Actually, I'm gonna have you roll to do something under fire for this, because you just stabbed one of your friends, and now you're gonna try to patch her up in the middle of all of this nonsense.
It wasn't your fault. She's really good.
Carla says as she's slowly bleeding out. All right, so Traeger, you rolled a 10.
Yep.
Let's see. So yeah, I think, as Verulo is reaching for his pack and trying desperately to grab something to patch up this stab wound, Traeger, you open fire at Carla, and you do. How much harm do you do?
I do
It's so
4,
many.
no 4, and with no armor, because everything but my machete has armor-piercing bullets.
Is that plus your whatever your thing is that makes you count as a small gang?
No, that's yeah, I don't even know how that works actually.
So you count as it hasn't come up in such a long time. So you count as a small gang,
Yep.
and so you essentially to anyone that counts as a smaller group than that, you do an extra harm. So I'm going to say for this, because she's kind of isolated herself, you're going to do her 5 harm. So you all sort of see this, and I think Traeger, this almost happens in slow motion as you turn around to look at this Carla and just pepper her full of these bullets, just unloading into her sort of chest and abdomen area. And she stops, and she sort of slowly lowers down as her feet touch the ground. She stands there for just a second. She cocks her head to look at you. And everyone, as this is happening, you feel this just blast of energy sort of radiate out from her. Let's see, Traeger, because you are the closest, you're going to take 2 harm, ignore armor.
Okay.
Yeah, as you feel this blast almost sort of permeate your skull and sort of send you reeling.
Okay.
And then after this happens, you see the shining green in her eyes dull, and her eyes sort of go dark, and she falls. Varula, what did you roll?
A 7.
A 7. Okay. So
Not a 6.
you flinch, hesitate, or stall. Carla, how much harm have you taken? Or where are you at on the clock?
So I hit the 3, and then I got another 2, which I believe takes me to the 6 o'clock on the harm. Is that correct?
It
No,
takes it to
so-
9.
Yeah.
Takes me to 9?
So
Okay.
Yeah, each section of the clock is 1 harm.
Got it. Yep.
Alright, so you're at
Yeah.
9 o'clock?
So I was attempting to. I know it's do something on their fire, but I was attempting to stabilize and heal somebody to 6 o'clock.
Yes. So
okay.
you do this. You flinch, hesitate, or stall them. So you can offer a worst outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. These are all terrible. Okay, so I think you do this. So you manage to very quickly reach around for some of your stock out of your bag and just desperately are trying anything to sort of close up this wound. As this happens, you do this with Carla. I think the pain is starting to get to you. So I will say, Rulo, you can heal her up to 6 o'clock. But Carla, you, for just a moment, you are going to be pretty much out of commission because of the pain. It's going to take you a moment to sort of get back onto your feet.
Okie doke, okie doke.
Okay. So you, I think, Varula, sort of under your hands, you can feel Carla starting to go a little limp as you can see the pain is sort of starting to get to her. You have stopped the bleeding for now, but she is not in great shape. Maggie, what are you doing?
Maggie is going to, since her ghosts are already around Nega Varulo, she's going to just say, tear them apart. Oh, that was the wrong voice. But yes, that was Ghost. Sorry. Sorry.
One of Maggie's past
Tear 'em
lives
apart.
is coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you do this, I'm gonna have you roll something probably
Weird.
well, yeah, I was gonna say hot, but then you're just gonna have something that lets you roll plus weird. So, yeah, just go ahead and roll plus weird.
Okay.
For that, those moves are so good.
Ooh,
They're really
that's not
good.
Okay,
not
that's
bad.
that's an 8. So,
Okay.
And they
you-
are now considered a medium game because there is over 25 of them.
My God.
Yes, they are. Boy, howdy! Did I forget about that until right now? Wonderful. Okay, so yeah, you do this. You send out this this command to them. I will say that sort of with everything that is going on, you are really having to focus. So this is going to take up most of your energy to sort of keep them under control because you can feel from them this this almost like this hunger that is coming from them, and they are sort of becoming harder and harder to wrangle. But so you focus your energy in, and you all just hear a mostly familiar scream from the other side of this room as these spirits just start tearing into this other Verulo. Not looking good. The stitches are coming apart on that one. And so as...
She would like to say to other Maggie, just a quick, if you destroy everything, then our god will have no one to worship him, and then he won't have any power, and then what will you be left with?
Can you roll to...
Manipulate or seduce?
Yeah, seduce or manipulate someone?
So weird.
So weird.
So weird.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
God damn. Okay.
That's one of the ones that I
Yes.
stood up to, so...
Oh, you did? Okay,
yeah,
so
that
do
one,
you...
go aggro that one, and then open your mind in the maelstrom.
Okay, so does it tell you what you get if you roll above a 12?
It sure does.
What that is?
Oh shit. No, I didn't print that one. Hold on, let me open the thing. Guys, Fantasy Grounds. You're all in one place to find all of the things.
It's true.
A virtual tabletop for all of the things.
Oh,
While this is happening, you can hear Maggie sort of speaking to herself while she's looking that up. Is there anything the rest of you want to be doing?
Am I able to do anything quite yet? How about push through the pain?
Roll plus cool for me.
I'd like to get high on my own supply and heal myself, please.
Roll plus cool for me. Do everything under fire.
Tight.
Oh, I can roll under fire with weird now. Yay! Okay.
Oh. All right, you guys roll.
That's a 9. We're
Okay.
getting there.
That's a 10!
Just
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
As a shout out, Verulo, Traeger did take a cannon to the chest, so
I
it's
know.
looking daggy, too.
I'm on my way. I am at
Be
9,
mercy,
sir.
I know, that's why I'm saying be mercy.
I'm
do your thing,
squishy.
get away, heal, and then come back and patch up your tank, please.
You're next, brother. I got a list down here. I'm having a time over here.
Ooh!
All right, yeah, Carla, as this is happening, as you hear Maggie call out to herself, who has you sort of grabbed by the back of the neck, your eyes start to clear from the stars you were seeing a moment ago. And as you sort of push through the pain, you feel her grip on you tighten just a little bit, and then she kind of tosses you to the side. And Maggie, she makes her way toward you, but you do something on a 12 plus. They do what you want, and you change their nature. What do you want her to do, and what do you change about her?
I would like her to, become an ally, back you up, meaning see my side, and
Hit it.
understand where I'm coming from.
Hit it.
Okay. All right. Rula, what did you roll for your healing yourself?
A 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. So you can heal yourself 1 harm on your tracker, but I think it is going to, again, that's a partial success, so it is going to take you a second. So whatever happens next between Maggie and Maggie, you cannot intervene.
Okay.
As you are doing whatever it is you're doing with your own supply. So I think you all hear Maggie's voice ring out as she tells herself, who has now tossed Carla aside, that she's on the wrong side of this fight. And I think you all see her stand there for a second, sort of taking you in. She kind of cocks her head a little bit. She lets go of Carla. She walks past all of you toward where the window is sort of busted out, and Traeger, this other version of Maggie, who you have killed once before, is now standing next to you, not looking at you, sort of looking out this window. She doesn't speak, but she takes off this mask, and you all can see she looks different than she did before. And you know she's been dead at least once, but she's standing in front of you. Her eyes are glowing this bright green color, and it's almost as if this sort of energy is kind of radiating out from them a little bit. And you can see this glow kind of coming off of her. But her skin is pale, even for Maggie, and sort of on the sides of her face by her eyes, and on her neck. You can see the veins that are in her neck have gone black. And she is just standing there sort of staring out at this other version of Traeger, who calls out to her to ask her what she is doing. And she very casually, Traeger, looks to you, looks down to him, snaps her fingers, and the swarm of spirits sort of starts to circle around him down in the other room, and you can hear him sort of cry out in confusion and rage as they start just tearing into him and pulling him apart. And there are probably 40 of them sort of circling around him, just tearing him to bits.
And the rage Traeger voice comes in, and he's like, "See, that's what I'm fucking talking about." and before that, as what had happened was he let Carla have it, and then he dropped that in a sling, and he drew his magnum, and he was coming across the room to put it to the other Maggie's head and just blow her away. And then all of a sudden he sees this happen, and he like lowers the gun and then just kind of turns and follows her back to the window and sees this happening. And so that's, that's what I'm fucking talking about. And then who's left?
They're gone. Where's the ball?
Verulo's still alive, right? The other one?
Well,
the other one's being torn to shreds.
Torn to bits.
He is probably on his last leg, unless there is anything anyone is going to do to intervene.
Well, then
Maggie, as you have sort of taken your attention away from them, these followers of yours are not stopping. They are just sort of ripping him to pieces.
Traeger already had the weapon drawn, and I guess he would just be like, turn, since there's no other target, and just let the Verulo have it. I know, sorry. Unless you yell in my head or something.
Traeger.
Do you want to try to interfere, Carla?
Yes. We need it in the brain. We need to know the promise.
So you can roll plus your history with Traeger to try to interfere.
Only a 1. Sorry.
Dude, no. I figured it would play out that way.
13.
Okay, those double sixes. So Traeger, you can roll to go aggro on him. You're gonna have a -2.
Ooh, yep. So I turn just nonchalantly, like, he's done, and I go to shoot him, and she gets in my head just enough for me to shoot off to the side or something.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because with the -2, that's going to be a failure. So yeah, Carla, I think in this moment, knowing what you want to happen here, you sort of reach out with your gloved hand, sort of grabbing onto just whatever sort of exposed skin you can get from Traeger, kind of on his shoulder, like the back of his neck. And Traeger, you feel this surge of energy, and all of a sudden you feel very confused about what is going on in front of you, and you think, no, I can't kill him, but you're already starting to pull the trigger, so you cock the gun off to the side and fire into the wall, and then just as quickly as that impulse came, it's gone, and Carla lets go of you.
Shooty legs, best soldier. Right now, we need to know where this bomb is.
Yeah.
As this is happening,
We're good.
He is still being torn apart by these spirits. All right, you want to try to reel him in?
He'll be muted.
You're muted.
Somebody's got to yank him out of there. Because Maggie already did her thing.
I'll grab him.
Okay, I'm gonna have you, Carla,
Even
roll
just like
something.
touch him. Like I don't care if he's being torn apart while I'm doing this. I can scour his brain while.
Easy.
Okay, you
torn to
just
pieces.
want to reach in and grab him, you know, and try to
Need
save
to
him.
touch him.
Wonderful. All right, so you once again.
well,
you-
fine,
you
fine,
reach-
fine. I'll save him. Fine, sure, okay.
Whatever you want to do.
We'll say it happens accidentally. I'm gonna grab him and I accidentally pull him away. Sure.
All right, so you accidentally try to save him as you reach in sort of through these spirits who now are sort of no longer differentiating between him and anything that gets close to him. You feel them start to kind of tear at your arm as you reach in and go to pull him out. I'm going to have you roll to do something under fire because now you are also taking some harm from this.
Okie doke.
Right, wonderful success. So yeah, you sort of reach in. You are going to take one more harm as you sort of start to feel these cuts appearing on your arm as they are just sort of slashing and tearing at you with hands and teeth. But you are able to grab this strange version of Verulo and sort of pull him out and away. These spirits are following you closely and are sort of looking kind of angrily at you, swarming around. They have not attacked you yet, but they do not look like they are happy with you. But you have grabbed onto him, and you can roll your brain scan.
Okie doke.
Also, while this is all happening, Verulo would have gone up to Traeger to heal him.
All right.
That's
Yeah, we'll have
13.
you. That's a 13. Good lord.
Just in case Carla needs it next, I'm just getting ahead of myself here.
Verulo, one more time.
believe
I'm gonna
I
have you roll
just
a.
leveled up.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
What good timing.
Yep.
So Verulo, you run over to Traeger, try to patch up this
Yeah.
very sort of large hole in the center of his chest.
Sure,
It sort of
sure.
melted through some of his armor. I'm gonna have you roll to do something under fire because you're not out of the woods quite yet. And we'll get to that in a second. So Carla, you have rolled a 13. What do you get? What do you want to know?
I
Ooh,
do
12.
hold 3. I guess the same. Like, how can I get this character to show me where the bomb is?
Wonderful. Yeah, I think. Gosh, you rolled so high. And Verulo, you rolled a 12, also very high. So yeah, I think you
Heck
can
yeah.
do this sort of getting your bearings again, sort of calming down, and the pain that you're feeling kind of lessening. You're able to patch Traeger up. So Traeger, you can heal 1, or you're healed down to 6, right?
Yeah, I was at 9.
to 6.
So
Okay, yeah. So you heal down to 6
stabilize
o'clock.
and heal somebody at 9 or past to 6.
And as the bullets stop flying, and there are some dead bodies laying on the ground around you for sure, Carla, you reach into the apotheosis Verulo's brain, and you start parsing through his memories again, but this time with more clarity and more focus, hearing more of these conversations and sort of digging through these memories. You just like follow the line through kind of the development of this weaponized technology. And as you get through, you reach this one memory of him walking up the stairs, sort of alone in the lab, almost as if he's kind of closing up shop for the day, walking up the stairs toward the back of the lab where there is a panel on the wall, and as you look closer at this memory, it's got a lot of sort of buttons and switches and things on it, but he grabs the side of it and pops it open, as it is a false sort of panel on this wall, and inside there is a one of these hand scanners that you are so familiar with. He lays his hand on a scanner, and a small door in the wall sort of slides open, and you can see some sort of piece of technology hidden inside with lots of sort of wires and things sticking out of it.
Okay. Can I come out of that and start dragging this Verulo over to that panel?
You absolutely can. The rest of you are you doing anything? Because as you do this, Carla, you can see, and the rest of you can see Maggie's followers they're almost, I don't know that any of you have ever heard them make any sound or speak or anything before, but you can hear kind of this low, almost like a buzzing or a growling sound sort of coming from this horde as their energy sort of starts to pick up and they start swarming and wanting to sort of dive back down toward this Verulo and also Carla.
Is Maggie still with us, or did her and other Maggie go?
I'm here.
She's still with you.
Can you stop them?
She's going to motion for them. Please, if you mind, would you go find that great doctor for us? She's going to try and disperse them. Okay. Okay.
Yes!
As well. Okay, wonderful. Success. So, as your voice rings out, the rest of you can sort of see the swarming slow down a little bit, and it takes them a moment, but they do kind of pull off, and a lot of them start disappearing and sort of popping out of existence, and then a few of them sort of turn to you. They nod briefly and then sort of scatter to where they were going as Maggie and her strange twin sort of stand over by the broken out window. Carla, and other Traeger both lying dead on the floor, and this other version of Verulo very near death, being drug across the room by Carla to this false panel. The danger for the most part seems to have passed.
Maggie, how is your harm clock looking?
I'm fine.
Of course. Okay, great. Cool.
I'm
Me
at a 9, so, it's cool.
Yeah. Again? Oh, yeah, that's right. You got ghosted.
Yeah, I got ghosted.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just healed you.
It's worth it. It's fine. This is totally fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I will stand by for Carla to be done then.
Okay, alright, so as the rest of you and this other version of Maggie watch what is happening, Carla, you make your way over to this panel, pulling it open. I assume dragging Verulo, Apotheosis Verulo with you to scan his hand. So you find this scanner exactly where you expected it to be, forcing his hand onto it. You hear a beep, it lights up green, and this second panel slides open, revealing some sort of device sitting inside.
Now would be a good time for the good doctor, I believe. He's shown away.
I'm gonna suggest my bone feel mishap, GM.
Okay.
Shit.
I have the right knowledge and the right tools for the job, but I get pinned, caught, or trapped.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to keep talking and nobody dies this, aren't we?
Oh, no.
Maybe a little bit. Let's see. Pinned, caught, or trapped.
Like, I have to stay off this thing, and they can escape, but Traeger can't.
Okay. I love that, and we're gonna do that. So, yeah, I think Carla, as you
magnificent showman, you.
Carla, you sort of drop this other Verulo to the ground as he is slowly kind of bleeding out and losing consciousness. You very carefully pull the device out of this from behind this hidden panel and move it to this large sort of table that is in the center of the lab. Traeger,
I know what to do.
You do.
I know what to do, but I won't be coming with you.
What do you mean?
Someone has to set this off.
It's what the good doctor's for.
Absolutely not. I can't let you do that.
Then you won't go home.
Are you sure that this is the only way for us to disarm this thing?
you've got to get back to your lines, and someone's got to be here to manually set this thing off. So unless somebody else knows what they're doing with this tech, it's got to be me.
We get the doctor. Carla implants some thing in her head, and easy.
It's what I do.
All right, I'm willing to try it. And
Is
then
there a
Trigger-
timer on this thing?
There is not currently,
Okay.
as far as you can see.
Then Traeger will take the device and put it in his satchel and be like, all right, let's find the doctor then.
All right.
Have I
Doctor
found
first?
the doctor yet?
You have not.
Ferrulo's gonna keep an eye on Traeger.
Maggie. Other Maggie.
She turns her head to look at you.
Is the doctor even here?
She just shakes her head.
No or yes?
No.
No, okay.
How long do we have until this thing goes off?
He sort of thinks for a second, looks at all of you, looks at Traeger. 2, maybe 3 minutes if you're lucky.
I don't know if we can risk it. Get out of here, she says to Maggie. I'll see you in another lifetime.
She smiles, her creepy smile, sort of nods, and as she reaches up to the back of her neck, there's a brief flash of light, and she disappears. So at this point in time, Traeger, I think you've never been more sure of how anything works in your entire life.
I got the multi-tool out and I'm tearing into it.
And you all see Traeger sort of tearing to this bomb, messing with it very, very deftly, as if he knows exactly what he's doing. And you sort of get a look at this, and I think your suspicions were confirmed. You all do not fully understand the science of time travel. Traeger, you know that you can stop this, but if you do, you have to stay behind, and it is going to cause some sort of event. Most likely what you set out to do, which would be the timelines collapsing back in on each other, but you are going to be at the very center of it.
And he's
For
like,
better or worse.
Pulling wires from his Pip-Boy basically and rigging it into the device. Maybe a little solder, or, capping it off kind of thing. Time's wasting, people. Time's wasting.
You've got about 60 seconds.
Carla, it's awesome partying with you. Ferrulo, live a good life, bud. Maggie, try not to be too evil. And he smiles. And then he looks over at his device and he energizes the time travel button.
Carla's gonna
open
grab
it.
the soldier and give him a kiss.
Ah,
Yes!
Yes! You don't have to roll for that. That just happens.
But
Ferrulo,
but he's in my head.
I'm getting into his head, and I want to
Okay.
implant one last command, if I can.
Okay. Roll for your move.
Okay.
And you notice when the kiss hits, Traeger turns the red. And he's like,
Okay, that's an 11. What do you want to do? Or what do you tell him to do?
Survive if he can. I get 3. Survive if he
Okay.
can, and if he does, come find us.
Okay. So, Traeger, this is implanted into your mind to do what you're going to do, survive if you can, and if you do, come find them.
all right. And he's, like I said, he turns the red, the rage Traeger red, but in like a big smile, happy way. And he just gives you the nod, and then he hits the button. And
Before he hits the button, Varula
Okay.
throws his
Leopards.
angel bag to him and just says, I don't know if it's possible, but survive. Please, please survive. Use these.
We'll satchel it around.
Shows you the bag.
And Maggie,
Maggie?
just says, "You're the best of us. You always were." She grabs Verula's hand and Carla's hand. Ready to go.
And the three of you, as Traeger engages this for maybe the final time. Traeger, where do you send them?
Monkey pushes the button to Maggie's Victorian villa.
Okay.
She's
And the
got
three.
money, she's got friends, she's got power.
All right, and the three of you hear a familiar popping sound, see a familiar flash of light as you whoosh through time and space one more time, landing Maggie in the flower bed full of begonias.
My begonias!
My begonias! It all comes back around. It is Loop. It's my strength. It's Loop.
And as the loop is closed, Traeger, you find yourself standing alone in the middle of this destroyed lab with this device. Do you do anything in the final seconds before you try to put all of time and space back together?
He looks around and he'll just say, it was a good run. My only regret, I guess he'll communicate it. He'll do a little vid because they still have their communicators.
They do.
He'll do a little vid and he'll be like, well, I guess my only real regret is that I didn't get to go back and kill that fucking dinosaur. And he points at the scratches on his face. And he pushes the button.
All right, so you send this final message and you turn back to the device, for better or for worse, cutting the final wire. And Traeger, just for a second, before your eyes, everything goes dark. And the three of you standing outside of Maggie's Victorian home, for you as well, everything goes dark. And one by one, for all of you, you feel this pressure sort of pushing in on you. For Traeger especially, it is almost unbearable as memories start to flash before your eyes. Some of them yours, some of them foreign. And I'm going to tell you what they are. Traeger, you remember when you discovered what Dr. Masterson was doing. You stumbled across her research and learned that she was trying to weaponize time travel technology, but your intel came too late. By the time you made it into her lab to try and stop her, she knew you were coming. She detonated the bomb, the timeline split, and just for a second, you remember feeling yourself being ripped apart from the inside. In this moment, all of yourselves are crushed back together in on you, and you feel tired. It's almost as if you're aging all at once, but not physically, but mentally and emotionally. You are weary and run down, and you feel like you've been running for years, and you finally found a safe spot to stop. But now that you've stopped, you're not sure how long it will take you to be able to start again. Varula. You remember when you were first clued in to Dr. Masterson's research. She sold it to you as helping. Era was going to use the time travel technology no matter what, and you had to know how it was going to affect the human body so you could help people if they came back wrong. A few people suffering for the good of everyone? It was a price you were willing to pay. And as all of yourselves are crushed back together, you feel cold. It's like your emotions have been dampened just a bit. just a little bit, but enough for you to notice. The strong feelings you had for other people and your sense of empathy, they're still there, but less. You feel apathy. And around you, the world is just a little bit more gray. Carla, you remember your initiation. Your real one. Maggie was there, and Farah, the doctor, several other members of Apotheosis hidden behind their twisted golden masks. The words that they spoke in the ritual markings are fuzzy, but one crystal clear memory comes rushing back to you. You could see your own reflection in the blood so still in front of you. It was like burgundy glass. Your eyes flashed a bright green, and as the shadows coalesced around you, you smiled. And as all of yourselves are crushed back together, you feel wicked. It's like your familiar sense of the forbidden and the joy it has always brought you has been amplified a bit. There is this nagging in the back of your mind, like a need for something. For what? You're not sure, but you know you're hungry. Maggie? You remember ascending. For the first time, you didn't have to seek him out. He came to you. It was almost like a dream, everything dark around the edges and fuzzy in your periphery, but you can see him clear as day. You remember the devilish smile on his face and the heat emanating from his hands as he touched you. And most of all, you remember the swell of power in your chest as he raised you up. And as all your selves are crushed back together, you feel proud. The blood rushes to your face and your skin feels hot for just a moment. And you remember why you did what you did. And feeling the Lord of Destruction smiling down on you as you did it. And as this alien surge of pride in your chest starts to fade, it's replaced with a sense of yearning for more. In this moment, as all of you are put back together, these feelings that you have are dampened until they're just like distant memories. But they never completely leave you, and the three of you standing outside Maggie's house sort of look to each other knowing you all are just a little bit different. And that is where the story ends. For now.
Do I still have my pinky toe?
You do still have your pinky toe. You are all there, as far as you can tell, physically. Anyway, you all feel a little bit strange. And I think if you guys would like to, for just a moment, we can take a quick break, think about what we've done, decompress and refresh a little bit, and then when we come back, I want to give you all the chance to tell us what happened next. We'll do a little bit of an epilogue for maybe all four of you. We'll see. But yeah, thanks everybody so much for sticking with us so far, and for seeing this through to completion, at least for now. But we will be back from our break in just a couple of minutes. So stick around to see what happened, and thanks and bye everybody. We'll be back very shortly. And we're back. Hello again, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us as we took, well, I don't know about you guys, but as we took a break that I definitely needed for a second. So yeah, that, for my purposes, is where I am going to leave the story of the four of you for now. But I do want to give you all the chance to talk about or narrate, or sort of however you want to go about this, to talk a little bit about, both for your sakes and for our audience's sakes, your epilogues, and to give us a little bit of insight into what you do next, or for the purposes of well, one of you, if you do anything after this, or what happens. Does anybody want to go first?
Muted.
LB, you're muted.
I have a question.
Certainly, and yeah, those are also allowed. And everybody out there in the chat as well, once we get sort of to the end of this, if you all have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Do we still have our time travel capabilities?
You do.
Yes. I know one new thing I want to add to the list.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go kill that fucking dinosaur for Traeger.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
And you have fun doing that.
Oh, she will.
Maggie's just, no, have fun on your trip.
Well, I guess I can go first then. I figured, honestly, that Carla really has no intention of going back to her timeline. I mean, she just has like a good for nothing ultra rich husband, and you know, she's partied. That's fine. The next big adventure is time travel. More specifically, you know, maybe finding little pockets of time where, you know, they wouldn't make a big mess, and taking time tourists there. Think of it as the next big vacation. So I figure maybe a couple of interested parties could go back and go fucking kill that dinosaur. For starters.
I love that. I love this image of Carla sort of picking up thrill seekers and hunters, and yeah, going back to slay a dino for sure. It's wonderful.
But the one thing was that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you could slay that same dinosaur that killed Traeger
Over
1,000
and over
times.
and over. It'd be amazing. But the one thing that she would definitely need to go back to the 60s for pretty regularly, every year since she died, Harold doesn't know, she'd like to go back basically during the week that she like disappeared and go poltergeist on his mansion. Just every year.
That is
No
also
idea what's going on.
you haunt your good for nothing ex-husband.
Yep.
Oh,
Every
that's just
single
lovely.
year.
That yes,
Right.
that definitely happens, and every year it works, for as long as you want it to.
Oh, every
Forever.
single year. Yeah. Like maybe on his deathbed, she'll like explain what was going on. Maybe. If she feels like it.
Wow.
That's just lovely, and I love everything about it.
And,
All right.
and keep up with these other ones. See what they're up to, you know, in
Pop in
time.
every now and then.
Pop in every now and then. Take them for tacos. You know, since tacos were a big thing. So,
Maggie's going to do a couple things.
Yeah.
Maggie's going to, she wants to travel back to the 80s at some point. Maybe speak to a game creator about his Pantheon and set it a little, you know, his notes are probably not the best. So she'll said him right about the abyss and all that sort of stuff. What exactly goes on down there? Had a nice little conversation about that. And
Also
then,
wonderful.
So much. I love it. I love it so much.
and she would continue her cult. She would, with her desire for this power and for pleasing her god, she's come to the conclusion that destruction doesn't necessarily need to be explosive and cause a lot of deaths in life like that. So she might start a secret society. Can you guys still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she might start a secret society to illuminate people as to, the things that they can do, like corrupt a government and destroy the environment and these sort of things, and put people in positions of power throughout the years, so later on down the line, I mean, I don't know, they might have an eye as their emblem or something, because of the green eye.
I think that tracks.
How illuminating.
How truly illuminating.
She would love to hang out with Rulo some more. She offers him a...
No.
We'll
The
never know.
suspense.
No.
We'll never
So
know.
chooses.
What?
You
Okay,
offered
you
me
cut
a
out.
what? You cut out.
Offer him.
A hand in marriage. No, no, she's been married before. That didn't take. A wing of her household. For research and such.
Mhm.
And she would travel with him on occasion.
Yeah. She tries every now and again to introduce him to culty things like blood orgies and whatnot, and he doesn't really seem to be super interested in that. I think as everything sort of settles down and he settles his way into his wing of the home, he and Maggie take an extended time vacation of sorts. I mean, she wants to go back to the 80s. I think he, at one point, actually gets to sit down with Da Vinci like he had always hoped to, and just sort of pick the man's brain and really just... His intellectual curiosity keeps him going, and his medical curiosity keeps him going, and he works and researches kind of like a history of medicine as we know it. And I mean, that's what he'll obviously use time travel as a means of exploring different eras and medicines and whatnot. And it's what he always hoped for, but there's a piece of him that it doesn't bring him happiness. And I don't think it ever will.
Okay.
Honey,
Oh, sad boy.
I'm gonna find you a nice cult, girl.
All right. So, that is the three of you. GB, what happened to Traeger?
So I wrote like 4 different endings depending on what had happened. And one of them was taking everyone home and then shooting them in the back of the head because I couldn't possibly leave them alive with the knowledge they had. And I don't have the technology to erase their memories of what they've seen and what they've known. And
Barilla goes back in time and poisons Traeger.
but listen,
Making me feel feelings!
well, no, hold on. This is how horrible it is because, like you said, Traeger would have to do this and then live with it, because he knows that there's no way Verulo couldn't save. No, listen, could not save a dying child. You would screw up the timeline again by saving children, by changing medicine the way it is. Maggie, couldn't trust Maggie. I just couldn't. The religion thing, a demon. She had to go. And Carla, you're a goddamn psycho. And Traeger loves you, but he would have to take you out because you know too much. And there's no way you wouldn't start time jumping and screw things up.
I'd find places where it wouldn't matter.
So then the second one, the one I liked better, is that time thing goes, and he takes Carla home, and I would have said, and he takes Carla home, drops her off. He takes Verulo home, drops him off. Takes Maggie home, and as Maggie turns to go into the house, he pulls his magnum and puts it to the back of her head, and quavers and smiles, puts the gun away, and disappears. And then Traeger would send himself back in time before any of their time to live his life out alone in a cabin in a mountain somewhere after he killed that fucking dinosaur. And
I got you.
He would just die alone, letting them doing their thing, living out their lives. That was my favorite. That was my favorite one of them. So, but I think he was probably torn to pieces by time, just atoms scattered, and maybe, just maybe, because of that, he never existed in the future. Because the future was better, because we all did what we needed to do.
Wow. That's wonderful. In a very sad kind of way.
He had his selfish moment. One dead dinosaur.
One dead dinosaur.
I got you, boo. I got you. The dinosaur's dead. The dinosaur's dead like 16 times.
Yep.
All right. So 3 of you survive to move on to whatever adventures happen next. Memories of your 4th party member, friend, and time hero, Sergeant Traeger, that you can carry with you as you go forward, backward, sideways, wherever it is you move in time. Is there anything else anybody wants to add?
Can we at least end on we all that were left got back together in the 80s and had tacos?
Of course you can. And do you all have any questions or concerns?
I have a lot of concerns. Maggie's gonna fuck a lot of things up. I tried to keep it within the reality that we live in. She might go a little bit beyond, but every once in a while she'll pop into an era and find the CDs and explain to them cultiness and whatnot.
Just a little ripple of destruction. Yeah,
Plant the seed.
Freedom.
Just a nudge. Just a nudge.
Yeah. She will also put a plaque where those begonias were. Just a little in remembrance.
I do have to say, Rob, beautiful man. Oh my God, you made me all teary and stuff with your your sadness, dude.
Sweet boy.
I put it in chat.
You fucking shot me, you dick.
No, that didn't happen. That was what I wrote, but I ended up being split.
It happened here, man.
No, it didn't. Don't
He just thought about shooting you, but who has Traeger not thought about shooting at some point?
That is fair.
That's why it was breaking his heart that he would have to.
Yeah.
Did Era ever contact us?
Yeah, so what I had asked Savvy at some point was, are there like consequences to keeping this time travel shit, or like? And she was like, not that you know of. Just like,
Tune
There
in.
may be.
that's not an answer.
Season 2.
There are always consequences to the actions that you take, especially when time travel is involved. But for now, I am going to keep all my plans close to my chest.
All right, then keep your secrets. I actually do have one question. So, so Apotheosis broke time
Mm-hmm.
just to see if they could.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they then go around and fuck with shit? Because they're assholes.
Did they need parts?
Yeah, were there things in these?
Or maybe they
Oh,
were
God.
making it.
Where's the doctor?
Oh fuck! I hate this.
Yes!
Thanks,
Oh
bye.
shit!
That's an excellent question.
There's a question from chat too.
Oh, yes.
Where'd it go? It's more of a suggestion, maybe a question. Make John Bon Jovi a part of the cult worship? Question mark. And it's addressed to LB.
Do you go
I
back and
mean-
see Bon Jovi? I think we killed Rob.
We sure did.
Come back.
Also, like, concerts in the 80s were loud. Maggie's not about that life. So maybe she would have gone and paid him a home visit, but not she wouldn't have gone to another concert.
Paid him a what?
Oh, now we see the jealousy in the system.
You what?
You
what, mate?
Bruno had a chance to make his move, and he hasn't, so it's fine.
And the other
All right.
suggestion is that you guys have a kid in secret.
Secret love
Maggie and
child.
Barullo, secret love.
Ooh, I mean, it's possible. It's not like either of us know what, I don't know if condoms were a thing back then.
In your
Furla
period,
would have attempted to invent them.
they were made out of sheepskin.
An excellent use of time and resources.
And then it says,
So I
tune
guess
in
now
for
it's canon.
season 2. Oh, sorry. Tune in for season 2 as Maggie and Barullo and Carla are on the run from the ERA.
Probably.
I'm into
No,
it.
come at me, please. You know where I am.
Please, I invite you to do such.
Mhm.
She has her ghost version.
I want Carla to ride in on like a raptor or something.
Yes, of
It's all right.
course.
You guys brought Era, but we brought a Carla, and then it's like click, and then she shows up like 2 guns on a fucking raptor with her red robot eye, like
Thank you for reminding me. She would
Oh,
find
yes.
a way to have the mechanical eye implanted. She would. So she
Certainly.
would have a way to have the mechanical eye implanted and just wear her signature shades most of the time. So
Mhm.
it would work out.
Absolutely reasonable. Somehow that is now a reasonable thing to happen.
Yeah.
I think at some point, Rullo would find out, because I don't know if I ever told chat what I put in Maggie's history, because Carla figured it out.
Yeah, it did.
I don't think you've ever said.
So Maggie described, or I described to Carla, the way she was able to go visit Grosset, and she had to murder people, which she did in Whitehall, and she is from the Victorian era, which was the time of Jack the Ripper. So Maggie was Jack the Ripper.
golly.
It's canon.
And I thought that
I tap
Carla
that.
was gonna twist her storyline like into the Manson murders or something at some point, because the way she was and the knife in her boot and stuff, I was like, oh, this is gonna be in there someplace. I just know it, you know.
Carla's thing was I wouldn't, definitely not innocent, but no, just chaos. Truly chaotic neutral, I would say.
Would you? Carla. You said you wanted to go visit Grasset. Would you do it?
If it was suggested with like margaritas and tacos, sure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You would. I don't know if Maggie would let you do that though. She's a little. She's a little jealous.
A circle of jealousy. Oh no, they'll kill themselves. Traeger didn't need to, and then he failed because his friends all died anyway.
I hate this.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. No, I literally only if it was suggested. Honestly, like she was intrigued, definitely, by those memories and everything else. But honestly, no, she's got a lot of fun on her plate already. So only if Maggie brought it up. So if Maggie wasn't down with it, it probably wouldn't happen.
Nah, she tapped that, and she doesn't want anyone else to. So.
So bad. I gotta say a line later.
I really, if Rob hadn't told me what he told me about Verulo, I think after they banged, she would have been like, "Oh, I forgot what it was like to have sex with a human."
I love it.
Rob, you doing okay?
He
buddy?
has 6 fingers, okay? Come on each hand.
+1.
Going back where it's safe.
We broke Rob, guys.
We love you, Rob. You are in reality. You are the best of us. I may be a hero, but you are the best of us.
Oh man.
Alright.
I'm scared.
Well, so am I.
Where did he go?
He's gone.
I flipped out.
My face.
Somewhere in time and space. While we have a little bit of time left, because we do have to end here a little bit early. So some more fun stuff can happen on after us. I do want to share with you all, and I can share this with the chat too, sort of where I landed on these final evil versions of the 4 of you.
Yes, please.
So if you want to know a little bit about
notes. Yeah,
I'll go ahead and share that to you guys now. So these are sort of my ramblings. I'm not just going to read them because they're just terrible and gibberish. But where I sort of landed with the this final team that Apotheosis brought to the fight. If anyone is interested, I'll start with Traeger. So this version of Traeger that we have, my note on him is whatever empathy he had left after the split has been beaten out of him. Obviously, you guys saw a little bit of some of this with this body armor that's been fused onto his actual body. And my note here says, arm replaced with ... like a literal cannon? Question mark? And then I just never changed it.
The broadsider.
So that's what happened. But my characterization of Traeger for this final form is the general who has never forgotten what it means and what it takes to be on the front lines.
Nice.
Let's see who's next on my list. Verulo. I have full-on mad scientist. Who Carla found out in Verulo in your smashing together of all your memories, I think also found out had been experimenting on people with Dr. Masterson. He is also the one.
Sorry, I turned into Waluigi there.
No, you're good. He is the one who is responsible for Traeger's upgrades.
Don't do it.
So this fusing of this turning Traeger into a Terminator
Oh my god.
I'm not in any way surprised that you own that. Honestly,
See,
I'm not.
I know, I get that a lot.
If anybody was gonna have that, I think it's gonna be you. But yeah, so I put Mad Scientist Verulo in charge of turning Traeger into the Terminator as part of his experience. So he would have been the one who was able to sort of fuse this armor onto a living body and replace his arm and all this stuff. I also wrote mega healing powers, but grotesque and twisted. And I had this version of Verulo sort of on the path to trying to figure out immortality, and thus he had been over time sort of replacing his own body parts with those of other people.
Upgrades.
Trying to live longer and longer. So for Verulo, I have him characterized as the doctor on the search for immortality who will go to any lengths for the knowledge he seeks.
I believe he would be immortal.
So,
He could be one of my
do
cult
with
members.
that information what you will. Let's do Maggie. I wrote for Maggie, return from the dead with a full-on ghost army and vengeance on the brain. And we, in that narrative, obviously Verulo being the one that brought her back, but she came back different, as some of you saw. Something in her came back a little bit wrong, and a little bit empty. I have some other notes here about her having like mega brain powers and stuff, but you all already knew that. The characterization I have for her is the right hand of Grozit on Earth, the hand that wields the blade, the show of power that all will bow to. And
I tapped that.
Truth.
you did. You did. And Carla, I wrote moving freely between the maelstrom and the meat space. She had
Sweet.
telepathy and mind control and lots of other things, and also a twisted sense of getting everything she wants, thanks to Maggie for bringing her into the fold. And I have her characterized as the left hand of Grozit on Earth, the hand concealed in the sleeve, the power that turns the gears from the shadows.
Master hand and crazy hand, I see.
But yeah, I've been hanging on to those for a long time, but I wanted to share them because that's sort of been the build-up of these last 10 sessions or so, was landing on each of those, and where I figured the darkest, most powerful timelines of yourselves might end up. And maybe I was right, and maybe I was wrong, but it was one hell of a ride.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So cool.
So yeah. And the rest of it I'm gonna hang on to. For now.
I did appreciate Traeger's. Don't try not to be too evil. I'm like, Maggie's not evil. What are you talking about?
Not yet.
Maggie has not done anything evil. Not. No.
She murdered and mutilated a bunch of women in Whitehall, yo!
They were prostitutes.
Yeah, so?
How Victorian of you.
I know.
I need a nap.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Maggie wouldn't use her powers for evil.
For evil.
Uh-huh.
Go on.
I need whatever Carla's been smoking this whole time. Just pass it over, you know.
Yeah, no problem. There you go. That was
Oh,
really
dope.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
It's just
Magic.
Whoa.
don't do drugs, kids.
How'd you do that?
Well, unless you all have anything more you want to add.
Season 2?
I have no idea.
I wanna add one major thing. Thanks for being the bombest MC and
Yes.
I upstaged myself. All right.
We would like to give a huge thanks to our
Yeah, somebody take it away. I'm a meme.
We love you, Savvy. This has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Just such a
Can we
cool
give a shout out
story.
to our engineer too?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Great,
Thank you
phenomenal.
so much
You're
to
the best.
Drake for running this for us, for turning Rob into a meme. I mean, really,
Amazing.
hats off to
I'll
you.
dance
And
for you, puppet. I'll dance for you.
Yes. You're,
Son of a bitch.
Drake, thank you so much for all of your hard work and putting up with all of us
Seriously.
and our
Oh, man.
shenanigans and just in general. You're wonderful, and we couldn't do it without you holding us up from behind the scenes. And thank you to the four of you for making my job so easy and creating these wonderful, sort of layered, beautiful, terrible, complicated characters. They are wonderful, and I will miss them so dearly. And hopefully, we will see them again at some point in the future. And I think at this point, we may have a little bit of a grasp on how time travel works. No, we don't. That's not true. We don't.
You
But
press
we
the
can sure
button
pretend we
and
do.
you go.
There you go.
And you end up somewhere. Sometimes you fall over.
It's fine. Things are fine. But
Yeah,
thank you,
and-
Savvy.
Thank you so
this
much,
was-
Savvy.
This was such a wonderful experience for me. And thankfully, the internet has not seen the last of this group together. Because we're gonna do something else. So I will let these wonderful people, tell you where you can find them on the internet. But in a few weeks, and I'll be talking about this constantly on Twitter and everything. But in a few weeks, if you liked what we did here and you like listening to me sort of ramble and talk and pretend like I know how to run games, you can join me and these four, as well as one other player from Game Nights, the channel that I stream on, because we're gonna try out Monster of the Week. So, LB's already building a character. So keep an eye out right on my Twitter and also the Game Nights Twitter is Game Nights with 2 G's and a K. And it'll tell you when that new show is going to start and everything. But if you like Powered by the Apocalypse System, or if you just like our faces or voices, keep an eye out for that and come hang out with us, because we're going to start a brand new campaign, playing a brand new game with brand new characters and so many more friends. That'll be streamed on twitch.tv/Game Nights, game with 2 G's for good game and nights with a K. But until then, we don't have to do history or anything, so I guess we're just gonna sign off and say goodbye for now. But until that happens, I'm Savvy at Savvy Seaworth on the internets. Mostly I'm on Twitter pretty much 24/7, and when I am not here or doing other silly stuff, I am streaming at twitch.tv/Game Nights, 2 G's and a K. You all know that at this point. The next thing I'm doing, I don't know what it is. I stream a lot of things. I'm already running one other Monster of the Week game called All Myths Are True. So if you like this stuff, you can come over to GGK and hang out as I run a group of monster hunters through the gauntlet. It's very fun. It's a great game, and these fools are gonna love it when we start in a few weeks. But yeah, keep an eye out for our announcement, and we'll start talking about the characters they're gonna play and the title of the show once I come up with one and all that stuff. But yeah, until then, find me on Twitter. Talk to me. And if you have questions about this game in particular, this show that you think of later, you can tweet them at me and I'll try to answer them. Rob, where can the internet humans find you if you're not making a sandwich?
If I'm not making a sandwich, there's probably a gif of me doing it or something. You can find me all over the place. Hi, I'm Rob, your resident sandwich eater and dice showerer. I stream games places, usually on twitch.tv/bonus_stage_Rob, where I am playing currently The Witcher. I started Mario Maker. If you're seeing me lose my mind right now, imagine what that looks like. It's fun. I do a bunch of stuff over there. I'm also DMing currently a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign in my own homebrew setting called Cypress. And that is on twitch.tv/runawayrobot_. On most Thursdays, we're off for Gen Con this week, but we will be back next Thursday with that. And then you can also find me on places like, I don't know. If only there was a Monster of the Week game I could play on. Oh, wait a second. There is that place. Twitch.tv/game nights with 2 G's and 1 K. Nailed it. Sandwich.
Perfect.
Sandwich!
Sandwich out. He drops the sandwich like a mic.
Hi, I'm LB Hackemup. This is one of my foster kittens. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters, where I tend to, I don't post too many kitten pictures, but I should totes. So I'm going to do that more. You can find me Mondays and Tuesdays on Indoor Adventures channel, where we play D&D. Wednesdays, I am on Damberry's channel playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh with him. And directly after this, normally I play in a Cypress
Cypher
You what, mate?
Cypher system. Thank you. Cypher system game. But we are off for tonight, so I will be finishing up Good Omens.
Hell yeah.
I'll be at Gen Con as well. Again, come say hi and tell me your name, because I'm bad at that stuff. Okay, bye.
All right. Well, Graybeard's Tavern. Check out the Twitter. It's got the schedule on it. This week, we're playing Curse of Strahd on Tuesday over on Indoor Adventures channel. I'm a little bit of a crazy man over there, and so check us out there. Then Gen Con, and I'm so happy because I'm the old man. And I've been there many times, and I'm going with a whole crew of mostly noobs, and it's just, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, I cannot wait. But check me out on Sundays on my own Twitch channel, Graybeard's Tavern, because, where else are you going to see someone fire a crossbow in their basement?
Ow!
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, no!
What did I do?
You killed him!
No, it's okay. He just hit my mic, apparently.
Yeah, that's it. And I've got other games coming up on Pro Restarter's channel, and of course, if there's a chance to be back here, that's great. And of course, we'll be on game nights as I'm going to play the Flake, seeing the patterns. So, see me then.
Yay! Hello, I am Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at Greek Sid. You can soon find me on game nights. I'm very excited. August 11th is when we're starting. Yes.
I think so.
Excellent. I can't wait.
Yes, Sunday, August 11th, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Pretty sure I'm gonna go monstrous. It's going to be great. I can't wait. I've wanted to play this system for a very long time. I'm so excited. You can find me on Tuesdays over at FemNPC, doing Neverland 5e, hashtag Peter Pan's a dick. And on Wednesdays, you can find me over at Wandering DM, playing some Acquisitions Incorporated, also tons of fun. And then, yeah, soon starting up my own channel. It's going to be ArtistCRP. Check out my Twitter for updates on that. And I will be at Gen Con. Can't wait. So excited. Come say hi to me. I'm very friendly, and I will be in a group doing a Beach Machina Critical Role group cosplay, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Nice. Nice.
That is wonderful. Well, that's all she wrote. I know, because I wrote it. That was a bad joke. Don't laugh at that.
That was an amazing joke.
That is gonna do it for us. So thank you one more time, everybody out there who stuck with us and watched this just wild ravings of a mad woman for 10 weeks on Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for doing it. I am just so pleased with how this turned out, and I think we've left it open just a little bit, and perhaps we have not seen the last of these characters. But until then, follow all these nerds on Twitter, and on August 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, come over to Game Nights and see us get this gang, plus one other player from Game Nights, back together again as I run them through Monster of the Week. And maybe manage to kill one of them this time.
Just
kidding, I love you all.
4 of us.
Technically, you did.
Time travel. But yeah, come join us for that. And in the meantime, check out all these fools and all their streaming, because they're wonderful. They're wonderful people. They're wonderful friends. And I am so happy to have had them in my life for the last 10 weeks and for so many more to come. And I think that's going to do it for us. Any last words?
Goodbye, everyone.
We love you guys.
Big hug.
Hugs. Hugs.
We love you all so much. Long live Sandwich Guy.
Bye.
And
We out.
goodbye.
Bye.